What's up everyone, it's 82. Today we're checking out a budget-friendly 2000 lumen flashlight. This is my review on the Boruit ET15. Like my previous videos, we'll be taking a look at all the functions and features, as well as testing the performance and durability of this flashlight. Let's get into it. Inside the box you'll find the manual. Next up is the lanyard. Also nested in the box is the charging cable. Last but not least, the flashlight. Let's check out all the features of the Boruit ET15. On the front of the flashlight, you have the power button. On the side, there's a convenient USB-C charging port, as well as a detachable dual-way clip. The flashlight features a magnetic tail for added convenience. We have 3 LEDs on the top of the flashlight. Charging is done through USB-C, with an LED indicator displaying red during charging and switching to green upon completion. The flashlight still works while charging. LED indicator lights also show the battery status. Glowing green for levels above 30%, shifting to red between 10 to 30% battery, and flashing red when the battery levels drop below 10%. The Boruit ET15 is IP67 rated. The Boruit ET15 measures 3 inches in length. The widest point of the flashlight is the head, measuring in at 1 inch. The tail is the narrowest part of the flashlight, measuring in at almost an inch. With the clip, the flashlight measures 1.2 inches. The Boruit ET15 weighs in at 78 grams. Let's take a look at the functions of this flashlight. A single press activates the flashlight. By pressing the power button once, you can navigate through the various brightness levels and modes, cycling from high to low. Double-click to enter turbo mode, which is the brightest mode. Long press to turn off the flashlight. The Boruit ET15 features a memory function, recalling your last used setting. This is the runtime evaluation of the Boruit ET15 flashlight. We initiated the test at the brightest setting, turbo, with a fully charged battery. After 1 minute, the flashlight gradually dimmed to high mode. At the 55-minute marker, it transitioned to medium mode. Around 1 hour and 12 minutes, it further dimmed down to low mode. Impressively, it continued to operate on low mode for an extended period of time. Testing concluded at 2 hours and 27-minute mark. It's worth noting that the flashlight could continue to run for an even longer duration. Let's take this flashlight out into the yard to test the brightness and check out the different modes. Starting with turbo mode. We have high, medium, and low mode. Here's what the strobe looks like. This is what the SOS mode looks like. This is me walking with turbo mode on. Moving on, we're standing 20 feet away from the tree. This is turbo, high, medium, and low mode. Followed by strobe and SOS mode. Lastly, we'll observe the flashlight's performance at closer range. This is turbo mode, along with high, medium, and low settings, followed by strobe and SOS mode. Let's put the durability of this flashlight to the test. First, we conducted the scratch test using a pick and a flathead screwdriver. The body is prone to scratching. Moving on to the impact test, where we subject the flashlight to hammer strikes. The Boruit ET15 withstood the impacts without any issues. Then we performed the drop test, dropping the flashlight 50 times from a height of 5 feet up in the air. Despite some slight damage to the top and tail of the flashlight, it remained intact and functional. This is the runover test. I think I ran over this flashlight 7 times. The flashlight sustained a few new marks. It continued to function normally. There is some resistance in the power button now. Testing the front plastic lens with a screwdriver. Scratched it up a bit, but it's still usable. Next, we assess the water resistance of this flashlight. The flashlight is no longer on. For the initial 14 hours, the flashlight was still on and working fine when frozen. The ice block is currently 26 degrees. Let's dethaw this flashlight. Following thawing, we submerged the flashlight in hot water. The temperature is around 139 degrees. After allowing 15 seconds for cool down, the body temperature of the flashlight reached 122 degrees. After being frozen for 24 hours, the flashlight is no longer working. Unfortunately, despite efforts to revive it, including using an air duster to expel the water and placing it in rice for 2 days, the flashlight remained unresponsive. This is the first flashlight that failed the freeze test. Am I too harsh on these flashlights? Let's analyze the Boruit E15 to uncover what went wrong. First off, there's moisture in the battery compartment, largely due to the thin O-rings. Also, it appears to use an 18350 battery. It's an 800 milliamp. The flashlight's thin O-rings is the reason why there's water seepage in both the battery compartment and the flashlight head. They are simply too thin for the task. Speaking of issues with the Boruit ET15, there's a loud buzzing sound when the flashlight is on high, medium, or strobe mode. It's super annoying. After thorough testing and consideration, I cannot recommend the Boruit ET15. Despite its 2000 lumen output and a budget-friendly price of $25, there are too many competitors at this price point, leaving little room for error. The Boruit ET15 fails to stand out. I still prefer their V series of flashlights. In terms of durability, the Boruit E15 did great in the impact and drop tests. However, when subject to the extreme test of being run over by a car, the button began to malfunction. So don't run it over with your car and you'll be fine. In the freeze test where we froze the flashlight for 24 hours, it did great in the initial 14 hours. The flashlight was still on. Beyond this point, the flashlight stopped working entirely and couldn't be revived. Prolonged freezing is not advisable. There are two notable issues that deter me from recommending this flashlight. Firstly, when you set it to high or medium mode, you can hear a high-pitched buzzing sound. It is counterintuitive that the brightness settings transition from high to low rather than the preferred opposite direction. However, the most frustrating aspect is the placement of the strobe and the SOS mode on the same press. This means while you're adjusting the brightness levels, you'll be activating the strobe or the SOS mode. In my opinion, the strobe or the SOS mode should be activated by a double press or a long press, rather than being triggered by the same press used to adjust the brightness. If you value honest reviews like this one, remember to hit that subscribe button for future content. And if you found today's video helpful, a thumbs up would mean a lot. That wraps it up for today's review. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.